girls going is. So hello. Excuse my voice, I'm a little bit sick today. We're just gonna roll with whatever happens. Today, I'm gonna be talking about my college program story, the Disney college program. I mentioned in my first video that I was gonna make a video talking about it a little bit more in depth because I did hit Lilo with a high chair. That was fun. I'm gonna be talking about the journey down there, tips, kind of advice, a little bit of like my stories, like fun little stories that I have. The first thing I'm gonna mention is the journey down there, like the day we left. So I went down with one of my friends. Our check-in was January 29th and we left the 27th, stayed overnight in North Carolina, then went down to Florida on the 28th and then stayed in All-Star Music, which is a Disney resort. It was so much fun. I love long car rides and being in a car, and I just had so much fun. The day of check-in, I got an Uber from the hotel to Vista Way, which is where I was living. So I got there and it wasn't that far from the hotel, maybe like a 7-minute drive. I checked in and I was actually too early for my check-in, so I had to wait, but I read somewhere that you could check in like 5 minutes early, so it was 5 minutes, so I just like went. You check in at the Pavilion, which is like a little building, at least at Vista you do. It's like a little building where they have like housing stuff. It's kind of like the clubhouse at the Commons a little bit. You get there and they take your picture for your housing ID and everything, which I don't have anymore, but they take your picture for your housing ID and then you get your housing ID and everything. And you get this, which is your program guide, and it has your key on the back of it. It'll be taped to the back of it, and then it'll have like all of your information, what apartment building you're in, how many people are gonna be in your apartment. I actually didn't know who my roommates were. I only knew one. So they all turned out so great though. Like I wouldn't have traded my roommates for the world. And it tells you like a little bit about housing, and it has the phone numbers for the different complexes, like the service centers, and it has maps for all of the complexes, and I honestly, it's a great thing to have. Like I'm happy they give this out. I utilized this a lot, especially when I first got there, because it has the map for Vista Way and I got lost all the time. I went on a little like tour thing, like my own little like walking tour of the complex, and I got lost so bad. So this was Vista. It is huge. It's like 40 buildings, and I was like, okay. I was here, and it was actually really convenient for me to be, I was in building 33, and it was actually really convenient for me to be there because all I had to do was walk down here and the buses were there. If you want to bring a car, I highly recommend bringing a car because yes, they do provide transportation, but it's not always the best. When I did my program, we had Transtar, and yeah, Transtar was pretty bad, but I'm not gonna knock it too much. They at least did provide transportation for us. Like they could have just not provided transportation and just had us be completely on our own. So I am actually very thankful for that. So that first day, I didn't really have anything to do. Most people had their casting that day, which is like HR stuff. You get your picture taken for your Blue ID and everything, which is your company ID. And I didn't have that. I actually had mine the next day. So I just kind of hung out, unpacked, you know, got myself situated and whatnot. We actually went to Disney Springs that first night after my roommate got back. It was me, my roommate, and then our one friend. She had already been down there for a couple weeks. So we all went to Disney Springs and we watched The Greatest Showman, and it was just so much fun because we couldn't get into the parks yet. You could only get into the parks after you had your Blue ID. The next day, I had casting, and it was incredible. I'm gonna insert some pictures of it because we were allowed to take pictures in there, so cue the pics. I cried, honestly, when I walked in there. I almost started crying because like, and the doorknob, like you hear about the doorknobs all the time, and just seeing that, I was like, oh my god, this is real, this is happening. I'm gonna be working for Disney. It's insane. You went and then you got your picture taken and everything. They confirmed everything. You filled out some paperwork too. And then that was pretty much it, really. That next day we went to the Polynesian Resort, which is where I worked, actually. I worked at Ohana. So I'm gonna insert some pictures of that. Walking in there, I had been there once before, like we ate at Ohana and everything once before, but I didn't remember it. We walked around for a little bit. We got Dole Whips, which is literally my favorite thing ever. The first time I had it was that day, and I had a Dole Whip every single day since then. We went to the Grand Floridian and we did some resort hopping a little bit. The Grand Floridian was amazing too. And then we had Traditions, which was like kind of like an orientation to the company and kind of giving an insight as to what's gonna go on, what you're gonna learn, what you should know, what you already know, kind of refreshing a little bit. And it was literally the greatest experience of my life. That's where you get your name tags, which your girl still has. So Traditions is where you get your name tags and your blue ID. And actually, Mickey Mouse was there. And Mickey Mouse gave out your name tags. So here's mine. It says, I mean, it's a little bit flipped, but it says Julia and my school on it. And I literally will cherish this forever. So you got that and your blue ID, which I don't have anymore either, at Traditions. And it was like 4 hours. It was a little bit like, it was lengthy, but it went by fast. We actually went to the park that night. We didn't go to Magic Kingdom, we went to Hollywood Studios because I wanted to do a full park day at Magic Kingdom, like open to like fireworks. And that's exactly what we did the next day. So that next day, we woke up at literally the butt crack of dawn and we went to Magic Kingdom, watched the welcome show. I think I have pictures from that. And I literally brought my backpack full of stuff, brought an extra change of clothes. Like, I was like ready. It was like we were on vacation there. Like, that's how you extreme Disney. We got there and I literally burst into tears. I was so excited to be there. I couldn't even contain my excitement. The first thing we did was ride Space Mountain after that. And I love, Space Mountain is my favorite ride in Magic Kingdom. Up there with Haunted Mansion. You'll find out that literally I talk about Haunted Mansion all the time. So that was pretty much that day. And we just spent the day in Magic Kingdom, watched Happily Ever After, which I actually did not take any pictures or videos of my first time watching Happily Ever After because I may have taken one picture, but I didn't take any pictures or videos because I wanted the experience to be like real life and not through a phone. My first day of work was kind of scary. My first actual day of work, I did my culinary day, which was you go around and you learn the food and what goes into the food and everything like that. So you can explain it to guests better. If they ask, what does this taste like? What is this like? What's in this? What's in that? Because we had allergies too and we had to accommodate those allergies. I cried, so I'm not even kidding you. I literally cried my first day of work. Ohana plays the fireworks show through the restaurant every single night. They play the music because out of the big window on the side, you can see the fireworks, like the castle and the fireworks going off. So I was at the grill, which is like a Brazilian style grill, and the music was playing and everything, and I looked over and I saw the fireworks and I like lost my mind. I was literally crying so hard I couldn't even contain it. That's when I knew I was like, I'm meant to be here. This is what I'm meant to do. Actually, my first official day as my role as a seater, which is like a hostess, I was learning stalking, and that was a lot of fun. I went in, I was like, hey, I'm supposed to be stalking today, and they were like, oh, you're stalking with Michael, and I was like, okay, you know, whatever. And he ended up being literally one of my best friends in the program. Like, I literally miss that boy so much. We literally, I made so many good friends down there. I miss them so much.
So, ska svinga på en språk. making you famous. Volunteering.
So I made a lot of good memories down there. Like I said, the friends, my roommates were fantastic. Even living in housing it made the experience a little bit more better because I like reading about housing and everything. You're like, oh my god, I'm living in Vista Way. I wouldn't have traded my experience for the world. And I hope maybe, I know I ranted a lot and I just went off on Disney and everything. I love it and I miss it and I want to go back. My final day in the park, my final day of work was so emotional for me. I was supposed to stalk that day and I got someone to stalk for me, which I'm so thankful for that because I didn't want my last day of work to be stuck in the back stalking and not interacting with guests because that's what I love the most about it. So I cried, obviously, cried saying bye to everyone. I missed everyone and I'm gonna get choked up again. And it was just such a good place to work and the location I had. Yeah, I might have complained about it a lot, but it was so good. It was probably the best location and the people I worked with, I honestly miss them so much. And I hope I get to see them again one day because they were like family. They were my Ohana. My last day in the park, I did another full open to close park day. I spent the morning with my friend Kaylin. Then my friend Alicia from work came and we spent the rest of the day together. And it honestly was the best experience of my life. Yeah, it rained on us, but hey, that's just the magic of Florida. We ate at Be Our Guest. We did everything I wanted to do. I actually rode Haunted Mansion and cried the entire way through because that's literally my baby. I got to try the gray stuff. It is delicious. Honestly, if I could do it all over again, I would. And I have dreams literally every single night of my last day of work or I'm packing up or something. It is so weird. It's always the last few days. It's nothing in between. It's always the last few days that I have dreams about. And I wake up thinking that I'm there and I'm like, oh, I'm in Pennsylvania. Well, whatever, I guess. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment if you did the college program and your experiences. Or if you want to, what are some questions you have for me that I didn't answer in this video? So I hope you guys enjoyed it and I will maybe post this soon, but I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.